Grok, is this true? Grok, is this real? Grok. What's up? What's up, man? Do you know what's real? Do you know what's real? Do you know what's true? I've replicated. I was able to replicate the Wondermail generator, bro. You know how we can enter passwords into this game to get specific missions or whatever, or you can share missions with friends. So I was able to, I replicated it. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It was easy to, sorry. Obviously, I had access to the code that anyone has access to the code that's online for the online generator that you can find online, right? But like looking through that code, it was I won't lie, it was a bit messy, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a, it felt a bit messy, at least, to try and figure out what they were doing and why they were doing it. And so it took a really long time, maybe like 3 days or something like that to figure out. I got the first part done really quickly, but then it took me like, it's a bit embarrassing. It took me like 3 days to figure out what they were trying to, what was happening. And then I ran into issues as well. I think this morning, I was trying to do it and I ran into issues. And it's just odd things, like weird quirks that you don't really think about, or I'm doing something wrong and I have to search out why it's not working, or I had to like retrace my steps 3 times to get this working, bro. Silver, it was pretty crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie, but looks like for the most part I was able to replicate the steps that those people took to get their generator working. But I got mine working in my C programming because that's what I'm doing. They have it in JavaScript, so I got it working and it works. So for example, I can actually show you. I don't care. I'll show you guys. It's a cool little project. It's very messy, so please excuse the mess. So over here, yeah, it's very messy. So here I'm gonna run it. So here it is. So here at the top, it's very hard to see for you, but basically I've listed out every possible type of dungeon that we can do. There's one thing that I haven't handled which does cause issues, and it will make the password invalid, like when you try and type it in. But basically, anyways, that thing is the max floor rooms, basically. But here on the top, there's a mission type. So you have like there's multiple different mission types. There's actually different things like rescue a client, rescue target, escort to target, explore. These are all like general missions that you get in this game that you guys are seeing in the background. But then there's like special ones like challenge Raiko, which I just did now. Or challenge Suicune, or challenge Jirachi, or do a treasure hunt, and things like that as well. I've never done a treasure hunt before, but I've done one of the challenges just now. It's just like a boss fight. You go attack, blah 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 blah. Basically, yeah, you can choose in these options. So like for example, select the mission type. Let's try rescue a client. I'll just be simple. Let's just pick number 1. And then here you can see, it's very hard to see, I apologize. I'll just put this, smaller. Here you can see there is a list of here you can see that there's a list of all the dungeons in the game, or I think it's all the dungeons. I don't know if it's all of them, but this is what I could find. At least when I was looking at the other project that the other person has done. And so this is the list that I have. So here I've mapped them into different things. So here I'll choose something like, let's do 40 over here, Lake Afar. I've never done this, so I'll do 40, and let's pick the 15th floor. And then here is a list of all the Pokemon in the game that are able to be clients and as well as targets, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was able to get as many as I could. I don't know why there's this weird jump between, it's probably due to, Well, I don't know why this breaks off really odd. I'll have to fix that. But anyways, this here is all the Pokemon in the game. So for example, let's try and pick something like Clamperl 291, for example, 291. Is it a female? No, let's say no, it's not a female. Then here it has options of reward types. You know, at the end of on your mission, on the missions, you can have different rewards like cash, or you can have cash plus a reward, or you can have item, or you can have item. You know, you can have different things. You can even have them to join your team. So recruit, and I believe the number 7 and number 6 are both ways you can recruit them. So for example, let's keep it simple. I'll just do cash. Like let's say I get some cash. And here is really important. Like if you're running the US version of the game, it's different. They use a different table to actually, I believe, scramble. When they scramble the code or the password, it's different for the EU and the NA. So I'm obviously EU, so I press yes. These are all debugging codes. I can explain them, but I was just doing some testing earlier, and that's why it's a bit of a mess. But wait, why is this actually showing it? I don't know if that's supposed to be. Oh, maybe I didn't remove it, but I swear I did. Strange. Let's have a look. It's a lot. It's really messy. It's just super messy. I did my best to keep it as in check as I could. But yeah, I don't have any print variables. Yeah, okay, it is. Okay, whatever. But yeah, anyway, so there's the Wonder password. It's generated right here. You can see, you can type this in, and theoretically it should work. There's a lot of 7s here, which is pretty crazy. But theoretically it should work. You can see here, if you want to see this debug code, it shouldn't be appearing here, but this, yeah, it shouldn't be appearing. I don't know why this is. I need to check it out, but let me just do it one more time. Let me just have a look, because maybe I didn't update it. Let's just do 2, and then let's do 14th floor, and we'll do 377. It's a female, and we'll do number 5, and we will choose the 1301, and it is the Euro version. Oh yeah, there you go. So I don't know why this appears still. I don't know. I didn't. Okay, whatever. Who cares? It's fine. Should be fine. This is the code. Yeah, this is the code here. 39731. I want to check actually previously what I did. Yeah, there's a lot of quirks with it. I haven't fixed it fully, to be honest with you. But for the most part, yeah. Why is this 39731? It's so strange. What the heck? It's a bit strange. Some of the stuff is a bit strange. Like this should be 39731. I don't know why it is. A bit embarrassing, but anyways, so it generates the codes. Well, at least I'm showing you it does. Where is it? Yeah, oh, okay, that's why. I was so confused for a second. I was like, why is this? Why is this happening? And for some strange reason, I've decided to actually manually do that, so it's not necessary. Oh yeah, so I'm printing out the bits. Basically, if I have to explain what's happening is, in a high level sense, I'm essentially, or what they do. It's not just I didn't just come up with this on my own. Like I had to basically replicate what other people were doing. So what they do is, or how it works is, the game has this password system that you can use to actually pack information to get particular types of missions, right? So over here, for example, if I was to actually right here is perfect. So you can see here that there is flavor text on the so on the top left you can see a job summary. There it says some flavor text. You can see on the top there. You can see that it's got a client. It's got an objective. You know, escort to so and so. You've got a place with the floor number as well. You've got restrictions. You've got difficulties. You've also got things like the reward. You know, sometimes it's a question mark, it doesn't tell you. Sometimes it does tell you what it is. And then at the bottom there is a Wondermail S code. So basically this code can be used to share among other people. You can share this code or this password to other players so that they can do this mission. I haven't tested whether or not we can do the same mission again and again. I don't know that. I'll put my hands up. I'll tell you right now, I don't know. I haven't tested it out. Like for example, if I finish something, then I re-enter the same password. Will I be able to do it again? I haven't tested that. It's probably something worth testing later on. But anyways, let's say I do this mission and I share it with my friend just because I want them to do it as well. This is the same concept basically, but we're generating our own. Here we're generating our own version. Like our own, basically our own code, our own mission, our own kind of type of mission, our own reward. And basically people can use this. People have been using this online to, you know, if they're playing this game and they get to in-game and they want to farm, for example, they want to farm all the Pokemon. They want to make sure that they get every single Pokemon recruited. An easier way is to generate a mission, generate a password to do that instead of worrying about recruiting them. That's also, you know, this is one way that you could tackle that, you know, task. And I believe there's only a few challenges that you can do as well. So like challenges are like ones like for the legendary Pokemon like Entei or something like that. I don't think you can just get them out from the wild. You have to actually, I think, do a mission to get them. And so you can actually get that mission as well. There's literally a way that you can generate that mission with this little generator I created. You can see here when I run that generator here, you can see that there are multiple different challenges. There's Mewtwo, there's Entei, there's Raikou, which I've done. So the only one I've done is Raikou. But then there's 18, which is Suicune, Jirachi, and Treasure Hunt. Treasure Hunt, I'm not really sure. I haven't tested out what it is or how it works. I have not done that one, and I don't even know if it's a special thing. But then there are also different variations of the same type of quest. So for example, Explore, if you see there's different types of it. There's a sealed chamber exploration. There's regular exploration and normal. You can do Explore Golden Chamber, and these are like 2 to 3 different ways, three different ways that you can do the same mission type, but it has a different restriction, or it's not really a restriction, but more so like the way the behavior of that mission is a little bit different. And so this is basically what I was working on for the past few days, just in my spare time. The goal was to just learn about how it works, figure out what I need to do to get it working. It was a lot more tedious than I expected it to be. The menu part of it was fine. As you can see, it's fairly straightforward. Setting up the data structures was not easy. It was easy to set up, but it was tedious to type out. So I ended up just finding the source code and then of the original generator, and then I just checked their data structures, and then for like things like all the Pokemon in the game, I just got that and I plugged it in, and I just had to put it in my own struct. So that took some time, but that's fine. Another hard part about this was learning about CRC32 or something. It's like a verification. It's like a verification check. You like grab all the sum of the bits, and then you check if it's adding up to a certain amount, so that you know that you haven't mistyped or done something strange. Honestly, it does go over my head a little bit, even now, after doing it. All I know, it's like a form of verification. And Then I had to look at how they did this encryption stuff, which is probably the hardest part for me, was like understanding what they did, because there's a way that they obfuscate the password to make sure that it's like not easily kind of reverse engineerable. Obviously people have reverse engineered it and figured it out. And the encryption was hard, but I was able to do it. It's like this weird thing where they go forward or back depending on the rightmost bit, and if it's an odd number and if it's an even number, and they do this weird flip-floppy thing that even now it's hard for me to explain, but I got it working. Remember, I didn't really need to know exactly pure perfect how it worked, because it was already done in JavaScript on the website version of the generator. I just had to translate that information into C code, and so I did my best to understand it. But ultimately, it wasn't the end of the world if I couldn't comprehend it entirely. So I just kept moving forward. I didn't want to dwell on it and spend ages on it. So I did that. There was some really annoying, tedious kind of things that happened, where some codes were viable, some codes were not viable, and this was because like a single bit or something crazy might be incorrect, or one of the particular fields might be different. And that was one thing I had to like diagnose and test and figure out what was going on, and etc, etc. And I got it working. So I'm pretty happy that I got it working. I think for now I got it working. There are some things that I can actually add to make it a much better generator, which I am planning on doing. So things like understanding what is the maximum floor count for the dungeon is really important, because the previous generators assume that you don't do that. They don't do that, so I thought I should do that, just an upgrade to an existing generator, and then it adds a bit of a spin, which is nice. But anyways, so that's what I got up to, that's what I was doing, and that's why you see some strange, you can see here, there are a few strange, like Midnight Forest I think is one of mine. Yeah, this one here is I generated this just to check if it works, and it does work, as you can see. It is working right there. So I'm pretty happy about it. I'm proud I was able to do that, but it was not an easy feat, and probably will need to do a lot more to polish it up, because the code is very scattered. I'm thinking of putting data into a single header file rather than having it spread out. There are some inline functions that I decided not to use. I've just done it in the main, so I need to either use those inline functions or figure out if I would like to do something else, if I just want to keep it raw or whatever it is. It's a fun project though. It's just like I want to do things that are a little bit fun so that it keeps me on the computer doing the programming stuff. But it's not the end of the world if I, do something a little bit more serious. I think the next project will be a little bit more going back into the books and less of a project. So I'm going to go back into the books and make sure that I'm kind of nailing my knowledge and understanding of how things work. I think I really want to tackle my dynamic memory stuff and things like that. I think I'm a little bit nervous for that stuff. So if I can nail that, I'll be pretty sweet. That'll be pretty cool. Other than that, that was my little escapade into that little into that thing. Hopefully it wasn't too boring, but yeah, it's interesting enough for me, eh? Yeah, I was surprised how long the menu system actually took. The menu system wasn't difficult, and that implementing it was hard. It was difficult, and then there was so much data I had to worry about. And then on top of that, I had to worry about things like conditions, like if the user picks this option, what does it go to, so on. There were so many different branches that I needed to handle to make sure. So I went as slow as I could and just made sure that I got it right at each step. So I blocked it all out in the main function. I think that will actually change. I'm going to actually put those into a separate helper functions perhaps. I don't know if I should, but maybe I should. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but it could be a good practice. I'm not too sure, but keeping things as clear as possible is probably the main reason why I would consider doing it. So, yeah, I would need to do that. I also picked up some new stuff like that I don't usually do, things like inline functions. I haven't really done it before, so it's new thing for me. But also there was also another thing where I started using unsigned integer types, like very explicit ones. So the uint 8-t, so unsigned 8-bit integer or whatever, like that type of stuff, or 8 bytes. I think it's uint 8. Let me just search it up so I don't sound like a moron. Uint 8 underscore t. So it's unsigned integer 8 bits. Yeah, okay, I was right there. And indicating type def, which is an alias for standard. Yeah, so it is I'm using the standard int library, and it is a way to represent numbers really specifically and be really explicit about how many bits you want to use for that particular number, because some systems actually can be different. They can actually represent integers in different ways, so using a standard int type can be a little bit not cumbersome, but it can be a little bit unreliable if you're wanting your code to be if you want your code to be very portable. It's something to keep in mind. Okay, that's really annoying. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really pissing me off. Gotta stop doing that, man. But yeah, overall I enjoyed making the project. I really like breaking it down. I put it into phases, first do the menu, figure out the menu system, make sure that we're getting the input from the user correctly. What kind of numbers do we need to take from the user for it to be used for the conversion, the process of turning it into a code? What does that mean? So that then led to figuring out what data types I need and stuff like that. How did they represent information on their code base, and basically just replicate what I can, understand what I can, and go from there. So overall, it was good process, good stuff. Oof. Yeah, and that process was fun, figuring it out, and also looking into like the encryption stuff. It was difficult, and I'm not. It's not easy stuff for me. But getting into it, once you get into it and you slowly chip away at like trying to understand what they're trying to do with it, then it starts to make sense, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm starting to understand, and figuring out what is a CRC32 checksum. What does that even mean? What are the types of ways people use it? Why do people use it? Etc. Etc. So it's like a form of verification. To verify that there's no typos or anything like that. At least understanding it in a high level was really important for me. At least. Why are you walking in front of me, bro? Like, legit, this guy was walking in front of me like he's some king. But anyways, so that was good. So overall rating, very good out of 10. Enjoyed very much. I'm still going. It's not done. Just gonna clean it up, separate information out as needed, and then turn some of the really cumbersome stuff that I really heavy pieces of code that I had in that oh my gosh, you're wiping my tea, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna clean it up, make it look good, make it readable as possible. But I am having fun, as it should be. And it's pretty cool to use your, or something that you made to use in your game, if that makes sense. I think that's pretty rad. It's not all the time you get to do that. The rain was heavy, I had to do some drainage. You're okay, bro. Drainage it is. I was just yapping. It's all good. I'm soloing because it's a requirement. I can't. There's no. It's not a decision I made. Bro, I'm getting farmed.